Hello everyone, welcome to another one of my videos. Today we'll be looking at a different vehicle and also actually a small, short little project. So we're looking at a 2000 Toyota Sienna LE minivan. This is my mom's daily driver. My parents purchased this van in 2008, and it was pre-owned. It had beautiful service records. Everything has been taken care of perfectly right from the start. When they bought this car, it had about 100,000 miles on it, so kind of right at the time when someone would sell it and look for something newer. So this van actually, I know it's old and everything, but it runs and drives great. So it's actually in pretty good shape, but there are a few issues with it. That's kind of where the project part comes in. So going down the side here, so the wheel covers are pretty worn. They could use replaced. And the tires are actually in good shape. They were just replaced about a month ago. There's some normal scratches and things, nothing out of the ordinary for a vehicle of this age. There's some real pronounced scratches here, so I want to see if I can kind of get some of those removed. Another issue is the door handles. The Toyota Sienna vans are actually really good vehicles, but it seems like the hardware goes bad on them commonly. So the door handles in the front have been replaced. And actually this one needs tightened again, so I think I'll put Loctite on the bolt this time when I go to do that. But they're okay. This one actually just broke about a week ago before I had the idea to do this project. Or, I'm sorry, after the idea that I had to do this project. So that was actually kind of good timing. So I'll go ahead and replace this one while we're at it, and then I'm going to do the other one on the far side as well, so we don't have to get back in, which is not a problem. These door panels are going to have to come off, which leads me to another part that we're going to be working on, just removing some of the small dings and dents. There's not too many. A lot of them are real small. Going back the back here, there's some this is being a dark vehicle, it's kind of hard to see, but there's a small crease on either side of the license plate there. And then there's some on this door. You can see it's a little bit wavy. And then nothing crazy, but I'll have those removed as well. The guy that does the dent repair for me does a great job, so I know that'll turn out really well. This rear wiper blade needs replaced. Somebody in my family thinks that rear wipers are silly and shouldn't be used. We can have that argument another day, but this wiper does in fact get used, and without a wiper blade, that's just going to scratch the glass. So I'm going to put a new one on there. Again, wheel covers on this side need done. The other issue on the outside is the hood. So the paint is actually in pretty good shape. It's pretty nice and shiny. I am gonna clean this up a little bit. I just washed this for the video, but as you can see, there's a lot of stone chips and damage here across the front. So it would be really nice to have this hood repainted, but there's a couple issues with that. I mean, the obvious one is this is an older vehicle, so it's really not worth it. I mean, what's book value on this? I mean, a few $100. It's near as makes no difference. It's not much, and this would all have to be stripped to do it properly. So if we touch everything up here, it'll look okay, but then it's kind of going to reappear. But what I'm kind of hoping for is that maybe we can use touch-up paint once a year and it'll look okay, get another year or so out of this. So anyway, that's about it on the outside. The rest of it, I mean, again, just the door handles and things that's all on the outside. The inside I have not cleaned, so these floor mats, they actually look really dirty, but underneath it's actually not too bad. So inside we're going to be cleaning all the upholstery. We could look in this door, but again, the handle is broken there, so we'll just clean all the carpets, clean the seats, give everything a nice wipe down. Here, I'll go ahead and get in, and it's cold out today, 36 or so, pretty breezy. This dashboard here, you can hear it kind of squeaks going over bumps, so I want to see if I can put some anti-rattle tape in there and kind of refresh that and make that go away. This armrest here, and don't mind all this junk here in the console, that's all for this project or else to be cleaned, but this is about the only wear on any of the upholstery, so I was able to find some armrest covers there, so hopefully we can swap that. We might even do the one on this side, and then we'll still have a spare. Another situation, the radio occasionally will blip going in and out, and I don't think the CD player is working as well as it should. So this is something my mom mentioned to me. I actually have a spare radio that we can put into it. Well, I have a little video. Went to the junkyard and got a bunch of parts that we'll be using here. So we'll just put in a new radio. I'm going to try to save this faceplate. The radio does separate. I've done that before. So hopefully we'll be able to reuse this part, and then we can just replace the guts of it there. And that's about it up here, other than the speaker. I did replace the speakers in this car a couple years ago, and I think a younger, less experienced me might not have made the best electrical connections with that speaker. So we'll revisit that and tighten that up. But I know it's just the connections. The speakers are fine. My mom's a singer, so having a nice stereo and nice speakers are kind of important to her. That way she can, listen to nice music and kind of practice actually when she drives. So that's important. Up here we're missing a vent. Again, another Toyota hardware issue. The plastic it's an old vehicle. The plastic gets brittle, so I have some of those to go in. And then there's a small chip on this climate control panel, so I'll replace that as well. And that's about it. So as you can see, it starts right up, runs great. The other thing that the other reason for not putting a whole bunch of money into this is the mileage. 250,000 miles. So this vehicle, unlike the Saabs, which sit around a little bit and don't get used, this is a daily driver. This gets used every day of the year, gets driven frequently in the snow. So I'll actually be taking this to the shop at one of my friend's houses and kind of get everything apart. And since this is going to take a little bit, and again it's kind of cold out, so I don't want to be doing this in the driveway, and the 900 is in my garage. And again, I'm still waiting on the fuel pump for that. It's been over a month, and it's been 3 weeks at the shipment center, or whatever you want to call it, in Harrisburg. So I know it's local, but still no pump. So that whole project's just taking forever. So I'm trying to keep myself busy in the meantime. So anyway, I'll get this in the garage and we'll go from there. I'm just probably going to do the rest of this by pictures, since it's going to take a lot longer to film everything, and nobody's really interested in seeing how to take apart a 20-year-old van that nobody cares about. So we'll see how it goes. Thanks for watching. So I would say this turned out pretty well here. So I found the piece for the climate control with no splits or cracks, and I found 3 vents that are in perfect shape. They're not cracked where they attach, and they also will adjust properly. So that's excellent. I think I only need 1 or 2, but we'll have some spares. Next, I got the whole radio here. This is in pretty nice shape, a little bit dirty. I'm not worried about that. I don't need the faceplate, that'll split. I just need the inner part if that is the problem. So does this one work? Well, who knows, but it costs very little to find out. These are kind of dirty, so anyway, but I did find some armrest covers. I got 2 for the driver's side and then 1 for the passenger side, so maybe we'll replace the one for the driver's seat and then also the passenger seat, and then we'll have a spare, just in case. So, and these are a little bit dirty, but they're not ripped or torn, and they should clean up pretty well, so that's not going to be a problem. Get those cleaned up first. Of course, the other advantage with getting parts from a junkyard is you kind of get to see how things come apart. So this one's pretty well ripped up, but that kind of gives me this dashboard was already removed, so that lets me see kind of what's behind, where all the fastening points are. So some of these projects and things I've taken apart before, but now I have another chance at least to see how some of the panels and things come apart. So that's always helpful. So that's pretty good. It looks like the only thing I couldn't find that I did need was actually just the visors. So the ones in this van, they're actually worse than in the one that we're working on. And then there is one down the row here, but that has a tan interior, and those sun visors are also in rough shape. So we'll see about that. We'll have to think of something else. we're now at the point where this video ends. So let's take a look and see what's going on. So I've got the new hubcaps on. They look nice and proper. All the dents and dings are gone. You'll just have to trust me on this. It's kind of hard to make it show up on camera. But everything's gone there and around the back. Those are taken care of as well. New wiper blade on. And I've polished kind of all the superficial scratches out, touched up any chips here or there down the sides, and waxed everything. Again, nice clean, nice hubcaps on this side here. New door handle on this side and the other side, and took care of the loose driver's side handle. And then coming up to the front here, look at that, I just can't get out of the reflection of this picture. Anyway, but this hood, again, it doesn't look super. I mean, there's still a lot of imperfections on it, but you know, at least it's not quite so, you know, from so far back. It's a lot better now. Now, at least from 5 feet away, it doesn't look terrible. You know, it's not so distracting. And again, this door handle's been replaced. So now we can open this up and have a look. So I did swap out this climate control panel there, swapped out the broken vent on this side, and then the one over here that was missing because the clip on the vent broke. Everything in here has been wiped down, the glass, the door panels. Now I did have these panels all off. They're all back on while they were out. I cleaned everything, tightened up the vapor barrier behind, vacuumed the seats off back here. These don't really get used except by dogs at this point. I guess the youngest kids that were ever in this car during my parents' ownership would be myself and my sister, and we were, you know, I guess 10 at the time, and we don't really eat in vehicles in our family, so, or do anything too messy. So everything was nice and clean to begin with. So I just spot cleaned anything that was necessary. And again, after giving it a good vacuum and things, and I did clean this mat. And I have the other carpets out just because if there's any moisture in this, I want that to dry out yet. Everything's all nice and proper back here. And then in the front, again, these door panels were off. We'll get to that in a minute over there, that little area. But these were off. Again, I tightened up the vapor barrier. I fixed the speaker. Again, it was a loose connection. I knew that was going to be the issue. That's while everything was off, just, I don't know, cleaned everything up, took care of it. I did have this dash panel off. I'll just have to see how this works when I'm driving it, but it's definitely a lot sturdier, so I'm hoping that, it's, less squeaky. It's probably not going to be perfect, but maybe a lot less. We'll find out. And while that was out, I did do another thing, which I realized how easy it would be and checked it and went ahead and did that. And that would be replacing a lot of the burnout bulbs. There were a couple in the instrument cluster here on the gauges, and then also the climate control, almost all of those were gone as well. So I replaced those. Again, cleaned everything up very well. Replaced some of the peeling foam around the vents so that they seal now and shut off. And then I did take the radio out. I swapped the faceplate and put that back in. We're in a metal building, so I don't know how well that works. We'll check that outside once we, it's just static except for on a couple stations, so we'll just have to check it. And then these seats up here, these do get used frequently, so I cleaned the seats down real well, cleaned the carpets, and again, the extra floor mats are out right now. And then I did swap out these armrests as well. So these are used, but they're in really nice shape. So everything here is nice and clean. I mean, the only real wear on this vehicle now is just normal chips and scratches in the paint. There's some scratches on the plastic and things. I mean, the side bolster shows a little bit of wear there, and this side of the carpet, that's actually not really dirt. It looks dirty in the way it is right now, but that's actually not too bad. But just wear and stuff like that. This was a little disappointing over here. When I was disconnecting the wires, the switch itself came apart instead of the connector. So the switch, I could put it back together, but it's going to be easier just to buy a new one. And that was already replaced. So I'm just leaving this piece out right now. Just leave it loose so it doesn't get clipped back in. I'll get a new switch and put that in. I think the new switch is about $8, so it's really just not worth my time to mess with. But again, everything's nice and clean and in good shape. So this isn't a super fancy vehicle. It's nothing too crazy. But the one thing is, my mom really did like this van when it was newer, and if she still likes it for the same reasons, it's well, pretty much the same now as it was then. So we shall see. Thanks for watching.